Hey guys, so today I'll be showing you all the methods I typically use to make 2010 type Skrillex growl sounds. And the first method is just like the typical way a lot of people do it, I think, which is just starting with a FM kind of bass sound. It's super dry sounding, kind of like this. And that's basically just me screwing around with different waveforms in FM8, and I also have this like cabinet effect on, which just kind of like lowers the formant, which makes it sound deeper basically. And I'm running that through a bunch of filters, EQs with like notches and auto filters, kind of moving back and forth, just creating vowels. And I have this little corpus preset, which is just adding a little bit of high end, more filtering, phaser, and then just like a bunch of OTTs stacked. And that pretty much turns it into this sound right here. And that's pretty much it for that method. Pretty standard. I always bounce stuff out and try and transpose it to see if it sounds cooler in a different key. And I think it sounded cooler in this key, so just kind of like further EQ'd it just to make it work in that key. But after doing this method, I kind of wanted to make something a bit more accurate to the way that Skrillex probably would have done it in 2010, which basically every picture I've ever seen of Ableton Live on his computer or whatever, back in that era when I was trying to look stuff up to recreate these sounds, it looks like just all audio. Like, there's no MIDI, just bounces of stuff. So he's using one of these old-ass Apple MacBook Pros from like 2010. Couldn't really handle a lot of automation and stuff, so I'm pretty sure he was doing a lot of like resampling back then. And I found this clip from the Where Are You Now Bieber Diplo New York Times video where he basically confirms it. So I'll just play that really quick.
So it's like pitched way up, distorted, bounced, rebounced again, so it sounds worse almost.
So yeah, basically using that mentality, I started with something super simple in FM8, which on its own just sounds really stupid. But it has the vowel, kinda, which I'm getting from the cabinet thing again, but mostly this Takwa thing in FM8, which it's basically like a specialized filter. Added PSP Nitro after, which is kind of like just doing bit crushing. And after I got that basic sound, I resampled it and added some effects onto it, just some really stupid looking EQs, I guess. More notching, distortion, and I guess FabFilter Volcano for some more vowel kind of stuff. And then a few OTTs after. And that ended up sounding like this. And it sounded cool, but didn't really sound like a growl. So I just decided to pitch it down 5 semitones and add a bunch more processing to it, phasers, flangers, EQs, and it ended up sounding like this. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that method. In the third method that I used for these growls was, I liked the tone of that last one, but it didn't really have the vowel kind of sound I was looking for. It was kind of like the distortion really masked it. So I remember this old Cohen Sound interview I read in like 2013 where basically they're saying they split all their bass sounds into like 3 parts. And I was kind of thinking, oh wow, that'd be kind of a cool thing to try out for making these growls. So I took a pretty similar sound to this resampled one I just showed you, which is right here. And instead of resampling it and pitching it down, I just decided, I guess I'll add another mid layer to it for the growl sound and keep the high part in the same pitch it already was in. So the second layer I made sounds pretty boring on its own, but it has like a really strong vowel, which is basically what I was going for in this. And combined with the other track, turns into this. And it kind of gives you a lot more flexibility, where you could focus tons of crazy effects on the like vowel part without having to sacrifice the high end from the other track. And I think this operator patch is basically super simple sine waves with this weird little edit I did right here. Then there's just a sub bass coming from Serum, just a sine wave. Could have done that in FM8. Don't know why it's Serum here, but it is. And what's Isotope Trash doing? Oh, it's just doing a little bit of distortion. And I guess using an amp, which is similar to what I did in FM8. That sort of cabinet sound. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how I made all these growls. So if you guys have any more questions, maybe there's stuff I didn't cover that you guys want to know about, just comment below and I'll answer your questions. So, peace.